guys, I wanted to say before I start the video a little bit of a disclaimer. I do mention it later in a clip, about 10 minutes in, but we will be touching on suicide, depression, things like that. Also, this is 100% raw footage. I only edited the ends where I stopped the camera, so bear with me here. Alright, enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about something that's a little bit personal. As you can already tell from the title, this is probably going to get a little dark. But today we are going to be talking about the real truths behind postpartum depression. And if you don't know what postpartum depression is, basically it's just, I guess in not doctor terms, but basically it's just a form of depression that is mainly caused by a hormone imbalance in your body after having a baby. Because obviously after you have a baby, your hormones are completely out of whack. Because your body has had all these hormones rushing through your body while you're pregnant, and then all of a sudden they just drop. So that causes a hormone imbalance that usually leads to postpartum depression. Obviously, most of you already know or have heard of depression, so postpartum depression, it can sometimes be pretty serious. But before we get into the video completely, I would like to say that yes, I am wearing makeup today. Actually, and that's another part of the whole reason I chose to go over postpartum depression. I know that my videos before have not really shown exactly the kind of things that I have gone through emotionally, and have not really shown exactly how I feel, mostly because, yes, I do act a little bit for the camera, so I don't really show how dark and depressed I'm actually feeling a lot of the time. Now, I also know that my YouTube channel is supposed to be basically family-oriented, but I also do know that my last video, or a couple videos back where I told my pregnancy story about how I was pregnant at 18, that got quite a bit of views. So I thought I would touch a little bit more on that, because obviously this is something that a lot of people are going through right now. I know a couple of my friends who are under 20 and are both pregnant at the moment. One of them I just found out today is pregnant. So I thought that this type of video would be something that would help a lot of people, and especially us younger moms who aren't necessarily experienced in being mothers and going through this at such a young age, and especially not knowing so much about it. I would like to put another disclaimer. I am going to be touching into a little bit about suicide and self-harm, and a lot of depression, obviously. So if you are anyway uncomfortable talking about the situations, I would suggest you click out of the video right now. I am sorry, but this is a serious thing that not a lot of people know about. I do suffer from postpartum depression, and actually I am not diagnosed. My doctors, well, I guess I am kind of diagnosed, but I've refused help. I don't go to a therapist, and I don't do medication. That's just something that I'm not comfortable with. Again, but if you are comfortable with it and you think that you are suffering from postpartum depression, I urge you to get help if you think that it is something that you might need. I personally have always been really good at handling my own depression, so obviously I'm not too worried about, possibly hurting my son or myself due to my postpartum depression or depression in general. But if you are scared that you might, I would definitely urge you to get help, because it would definitely be a benefit to both you and your family. I first noticed that I may have postpartum depression when I was about one month postpartum after having my son. I mean, I guess I showed signs a little bit even in the hospital, my son would not stop crying one night, and I just broke down into tears. So I guess that could have been a little bit of a future sign about me having postpartum depression. But honestly, after that, after we went home, I only had a couple, slight, I guess sudden anger outbursts or depressive outbursts. I did not hurt anybody or my son or myself, so that was good. But other than that, which I thought that would just be normal because, after you become Sorry, my son is chewing on his toothbrush in the background. But anyways, I thought that was normal because nobody really talked to me about postpartum depression. My doctor only touched on it a little bit just because when I first went in and they tested me for regular depression, I did test very high. So I guess I didn't know a lot about it, so I thought that those little outbursts were normal. I didn't really realize how severe postpartum depression could be. But about a month after I had my son, I got to a point where I was not feeling very good about myself. I was not feeling very good about myself, and I didn't really feel... Declan, come on, dude. But I wasn't really feeling good about myself, and I didn't really feel loved. I felt very alone, and, I didn't talk to anybody about it because I didn't think that anybody could really help me. So I got to a point where I was feeling so low. Declan, knock it off. Life with a 6-month-old baby. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I was feeling so low that I no longer wanted to live. I did not make an attempt on my life, but I came pretty close. Like this close. And not a lot of people know that, so if you are a family member or a friend watching this video right now, yes, I did get to a point where I no longer wanted to live after I had my son. And it was not because I regretted having Declan. I just had so many hormones going through my body, and I was already suffering from depression before that. Add those things on, and you get pretty dark and low. Sorry, I had to get Declan for a moment because he would not stop talking in the background, and I can't do a serious video if I'm sitting here freaking out about my son making noise. Obviously, I love my son, but come on, dude. You chewing on your toothbrush? Great. No, but I did get to a point where I no longer wanted to live, and, a lot of people, like my friends and, my family who comes and visits me a lot of the time, they know this, but, Dad, Taryn, which are my parents, if you guys are watching this, I am sorry, but I got to a point where I wanted to die, so I couldn't do anything about it. I have my son, obviously, and he's who I live for. So, obviously, I'm here talking about this now, but instead of taking any attempts on my life, I started smoking cigarettes. And I know that that's not, something as bad as it could be. Obviously, I could do things a lot worse than that. But, for someone who has been a smoker before and was and took so much pride in being able to quit, it's a little bit hard for me. I haven't told any of my family really about it, just because I know that a lot of them would be very disappointed in me, just as I am in myself. But yeah, so I started doing that, and it was just kind of a way to help relieve stress, get me to think about something else other than how I was feeling at the time. And I would definitely not recommend smoking, guys. So if any of you are suffering postpartum depression, just go get help. Don't do what I did. At this point, I'm 6 months, almost 7 months postpartum, and I just feel personally, like me going to try and get help would be just worthless for me, because I already know what my problem is, and I already know how to, you know, kind of help make myself feel a little better, regardless of if it's healthy or not. I would like to say that if you are seeing this video, it's because I filmed it, but right now, as I'm filming this clip, I am very iffy on whether or not I should even post this, just because I don't want to get in trouble with anybody for being a bad role model, just because I don't go and get help and I smoke, but I don't really want to get in trouble, you know. But at the same time, if I do post it, it's because I did decide that my situation is a very real situation, and I'm not editing anything. Really, I'm going to leave this very raw, just because not very many people talk about it. Not very many people go on YouTube or on Facebook or on Google or anything and see young moms talking about their experience with postpartum depression. And it's just because it's such a controversial subject. Like, not very many people want to talk about it. When they hear postpartum depression, they hear crazy psycho mom, or, you know, mom on the news who recently, well, a couple years ago, but it's been surfacing up again, who killed herself due to postpartum depression. Not many people touch on it because it is such a scary subject that nobody wants to talk about it, just because they're afraid of, you know, hurting somebody or hurting themselves or getting themselves in trouble. And I don't think that that's good. I don't think anybody should refrain from talking about a very real thing that can be dangerous just because they're scared. And, you know, even me sitting here talking about this right now, I am a little bit uncomfortable. I am going out of my zone. I don't talk to my family. I don't even talk to Tyler very much about my experience with postpartum depression, just because I very recently only, you know, finally admitted to myself that I am actually suffering from it. But anyways, past that just a little bit, part of my postpartum depression goes into really low self-esteem, and a lot of women get low self-esteem regardless of pregnancy, regardless, you know, just, people get low self-esteem for no freaking reason. But part of my postpartum depression came with self-esteem. I've always been really confident in myself, really outgoing. I've loved talking to people. I've taken a stupid toothbrush. Oh my gosh. But I've always taken a lot of pride in who I am as a person and my body, and I've always been very confident. But my postpartum depression has kind of made that a little bit difficult. I don't go out in public very often, just because I'm scared of what people will think about seeing me as a teen mom. I don't wear tight clothing as often anymore, or tank tops, or, you know, anything like that, just because I'm scared of my body. I mean, even though I was one of the very lucky ones who didn't get stretch marks, and I didn't keep my baby weight on very long. I mean, I'm back to my normal size, but just something about my postpartum depression really kind of, I took a hit to my self-esteem. Also, I'm just starting to notice that, if you haven't noticed, I am wearing a shirt. I know it kind of looks like I'm not, but I am. I'm wearing a shirt. Anyways, I have a lot more to talk about, so I think I'm going to put this into 2 parts, just because this is already a very long video, and I don't really want to make it too long of a video. But, so I think I'm going to stop it right here. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell. Be sure to watch out for part 2 of this video. I love you guys. Thank you all for your support so much. I've only got 21 subscribers so far, but you 21 are freaking awesome. Also, I want to say a little shout out to someone called London Life. I found her on a YouTube promotion group, and I would like to say that her videos are awesome. And girl, if you are watching this, you are amazing, and your family is freaking adorable. Anyways, I love you guys. Bye.